仕留めや。出てこい。鏡や。
Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Reggie here, back with you for another video, and welcome back to the House of Animation, where we have discussions and reviews about our favorite anime and cartoons. And for today's video, I want to have a discussion about a character that I think gets a lot of hate in the One Piece community, and honestly is a character that I think gets hoed a lot in the story and really doesn't deserve the amount of hate that he gets. I want to talk about Eustass Kidd and really get to the bottom of why people dislike this character and gave him the moniker Eustass Captain Mid. So before we get into that, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this type of video. And without any more waiting, let's drop the intro. Alright, so contrary to the title of the video, I don't think Eustass is a mid character. Like, if we keeping it a buck, Eustass is mad strong, and he only gets that moniker mainly because Oda hoes him a lot. Like, honestly, I understand why the fandom calls him Eustass Captain Mid, but like, it's not even fair the amount of times he gets hoed. Like, fam, he's basically the pirate version of Smoker, somebody who was introduced with so much potential and then kind of just fell by the wayside, which ain't even his fault really. I feel like it's Oda's fault for kind of just not giving him the character development that he needed. So to understand why people call him Eustass Captain Mid, we have to start from the beginning, how he was introduced. So when we first hear about Kidd, we're introduced to him really at Shaki's bar when the Straw Hats were over there with Rayleigh. Shaki was telling us about the 11 supernovas that were dubbed the worst generation and how there was somebody who had a higher bounty than Luffy of the worst generation. Now, everybody in the One Piece community already knows that just because you have a higher bounty than someone doesn't necessarily mean that you're stronger, but it's a very good gauge of that person's strength. So for all the things we've seen Luffy do to this point, we've seen him go through the East Blue and defeat multiple high-end level captains. We've seen him defeat multiple warlords. We even seen him go up against CP9. And for somebody to have a higher bounty than him, at the time, we were going crazy. But not only that, we also find out that he had the same dream as Luffy. He wanted to find the One Piece and become the king of the pirates. Like, yo, if you telling me that Oda didn't set up Kidd to be Luffy's pirate rival, you're crazy. So not only does he have the same dream as Luffy, not only is he potentially stronger than Luffy, but when we get to see him, Luffy, and Law all together when they were going up against the Marines in that iconic scene, we get to see this nigga use his magnet fruit. So now we think this motherfucker is basically Magneto. Like, I know that time was over 10 years ago. I know a lot of you motherfuckers may be young, but if you were around during that time, during that arc, the amount of theories, the amount of projections, what people thought was gonna happen in the future, we thought Kidd was gonna be him. So now that we understand how Kidd was introduced and the high expectations that we had for him, let's talk about what started to happen to him and why I think Oda started to hoe him out. So the first really is with Law's introduction. Like, fam, I really hope y'all remember. After the 2-year time skip when Law was introduced at Punk Hazard and he was going up against Smoker, mind you, at the time, pre-time skip Smoker was considered to be a dog. Let's not forget, Smoker was one of the few people who handed Luffy L's upon L's. I know some of y'all probably don't remember, but there was a period in time where Smoker was considered to be top 5 strongest characters in One Piece. So then when we get introduced to Law and he's bitch smacking Smoker and his entire crew up and down the new world, we start looking at Law like he's Big Dick Daryl. Law's introduction on Punk Hazard was massive, and we spent years with Law, not only on Punk Hazard Hazard, but in Dressrosa as well, where we get a full in-depth backstory about Law and his entire life, while also finding out that he potentially has top 5, I dare to say top 3 devil fruits in all of One Piece. He completely outshined Kidd's introduction, where we get introduced to Kidd post time skip, where he's trying to make an alliance with Apu and Hawkins, and then Kaido, the highest bountied, strongest pirate, Yonko, comes through, drops on their meeting, and holds the entire lot of them. Like, how is that fair? Law gets to go up against Smoker, Luffy has 2 years to train under the Pirate King's right-hand man, and Kidd has to go up against Kaido. The biggest problem with Kidd is the comparison that Oda kept making for him to Luffy and Law without nearly giving him the character development or powers. They were set up to be the big 3 of the worst generation, but only 2 of them really get the character development and the devil fruit abilities that we feel like they deserve. Even though Kidd has a pretty strong devil fruit, and you have an amazing comparison where you can basically make him the Magneto of One Piece. Like, if we really compare all of the things that Luffy and definitely Law can do with their devil fruits, and then compare it to how Eustass utilizes his devil fruit, it's not even fair. And it's so easy to make him strong. Like, using Magneto as a base, let's talk about all the things that he can do that Kidd should in theory be able to do as well. They have the exact same powers. For one, Magneto can fly. Magneto can destroy cities. He can bring down satellites orbiting around the Earth, crashing down. Magneto has the ability to generate lightning because of his electromagnetism. Magneto can use his electromagnetism to bend the light around him and make him invisible. He can create force fields to be able to protect himself and others, while also being able to disrupt the electrical signals in your brain. These are all things that Kidd should be doing, especially considering the fact that he's awakened. And I don't want to hear shit from you people saying that that would make Kidd too OP. Luffy in his awakened form has Toon Force, and Law has 17 different abilities, while also having the ability to give someone eternal youth. And you mad because I want Kidd to have lightning abilities? Oda completely dropped the ball with what Kidd's ability should be able to range to. So this is another area where Oda holds him. But even in Wano, when we got to see all the things that Kidd could do, people still don't give him credit. Kidd is an awakened devil fruit user. I know we're starting to see a lot of that in the manga, but let's keep it a buck. There's really only around like 10 people whose fruits are awakened. Kidd has all 3 forms of haki. Yes, he has Conqueror's haki. Kidd put 50% of the work on defeating Big Mom. I know people want to act and pretend like Law did it completely on his own, but if you watch the anime and read the manga, he did not. Kidd put in work against Big Mom too. But because Law's attacks were more flashy than Kidd, Oda holds him again by not showing how strong Kidd actually was. And then finally, where niggas put the nail in the coffin on Eustass Captain Mid is when he goes up against Shanks, and Shanks solos him in one shot, completely ignoring the fact that Shanks himself saw a future where Eustass was about to take out his entire fleet. Let's take that in for a second. Eustass, solo, by himself, no help, was about to take out an entire Yonko fleet. Then Shanks himself had to intervene while using the Pirate King's signature move to be able to take down Kidd, and he was still breathing. Like, Oda puts this man in terrible positions over and over and over again. And I don't want to hear shit about you people online saying like, well, he was dumb for going up against Shanks. You think Luffy would have did anything different? Luffy strolled up to Whole Cake Island with half of his crew, a Yonko's territory, and then fought Big Mom herself. So if you think that if Luffy didn't know Shanks, he wouldn't have done the exact same thing Kidd did, you're crazy. So I say all of that to say this. Eustass is not a mid character. He gets hoed and outshined over and over because Oda didn't develop him or his devil fruit like he should have, and continuously puts him in terrible positions where he doesn't have an opportunity to shine. So comment below and let me know of what you think of Eustass Captain Kidd. Do you feel like he earned the mid captain title? Do you feel like Oda underdeveloped him like I do? Comment below and let me know. But with that, I got nothing left for this video. So, peace.